For the next 50 hours, I'm asking the question nobody dares to ask. What happens if supplements become your entire diet?
In today's video, we are watching Will Tennyson how he tries to replace all his meals with supplements and food substitutions for 50 hours. And if you are someone who is constantly battling with lack of energy, being tired, with a lack of focus, and even if you want to lose some extra fat and you are battling with that hunger all the time, keep watching till the end.
Basically, my diet plan is, if it rattles in a bottle, it's a meal.
And essentially, I'm putting my life in the hands of Big Pharma.
Going into this challenge, there are a few things that I want to find out. 1, will I have good energy throughout the day? 2, will I actually miss real food? And 3, will I ever feel full?
So let's see what happens, because this is really interesting. I guess he will have enough energy, but my assumption is that he will not be fully satisfied. And why this happens is that we have all these meal replacement shakes, right? The reason why they don't work is because we miss chewing food. And anyone who is like on that kind of diet over a longer period of time, they stop enjoying it. It's really not sustainable.
I would say this is a much more jaw-friendly way to take my morning dose of vitamin D. Hello, aisle of 4B. So I can keep my relationship with the toilet somewhat normal. Let's be real, it's probably gonna be pretty hard to get my fat macros in, so I feel like getting MCT oil is a good idea. You know what? Advertising must really work, because when I think of electrolytes, I automatically just think of Gatorade. But I'm gonna get this one. I'm not gonna drink Gatorade. Way too much sugar. I'm gonna give my stomach as much of a chance to remain stable during these troubling times as possible. So we're gonna get probiotics. It's vegan though, so I'm not sure if it's even gonna work.
I got some other stuff like protein shakes, caffeine pills, and protein bars, which are always reliable and one of the very few things that are not in liquid form. And lastly, a quick little egg run for Katie, because she doesn't do these weird things with me, and I can't blame her. Eggs for Katie.
With all these powders and pills in front of me, give me a couple glow sticks and it's gonna have me feeling like summer 2016.
Well, my assumption is already being trampled by protein bars, which is something he can chew, so let's see how this works. But I miss one ingredient there, one supplement, that is green powders. I thought that would be one of the essentials there.
But in all seriousness though, the supplement bill was reaching Liver King levels. I do not want to talk about the price, it was obnoxious. But we gotta make some breakfast. We gotta shake up some breakfast.
First thing I'm gonna do is take a bunch of pills, and it's nice to have a pill medley that's not gonna have me waking up spooning my neighbor's dog, but we're gonna try doing all of them at the same time. Here we go. Two gummies, turmeric, apple cider vinegar. I am scared for this meal because I don't think I've swallowed this much science since that Bill Nye summer internship. But between the green powder, the Metamucil, the protein powder, and the MCT oil coffee, I think I should probably take squats out of my programming for the next 2 days. But the thing I'm most excited to try is this Subi powder. And Subi just sounds like the worst streaming service of all time. But this should cover my fruits and vegetables for the entire day. If you look at the back, it's like we autopsied a vegan. There is so much good stuff in here. That tastes like earth. Huh? I'm not getting any mango and pineapple in here. There's not even mango and pineapple in the ingredient list. What? Weirdly enough, this only has 1 gram of fiber per serving. That's why I added the Metamucil in, so my digestive tract can stay intact. I've never actually had Metamucil before, and I'm very excited to try this as well. It's like a dumbed down Sunny Delight for an adult. It's a little bit thick. It's kind of gelatinous. For my protein, I went with a muscle milk. And when I think of muscle milk, I usually think of Mr. Olympia after parties. And those are typically served warm. Usually with protein shakes, I opt for the chocolate flavor because even if it doesn't taste good, it always still finds a way to satisfy. This has 25 grams of protein, 170 calories. There's a sweetness that I don't quite like. It does not taste like milk. If this was milk, I'd be like, is the cow sick? Or what kind of farm animal is this coming from? Because it is not a cow. Ooh, I don't know if this is even still good. But hey, protein is protein, right? Now, like I was saying, that the fat macros is probably pretty hard to get in, which is why I added 1.5 tablespoons of MCT oil to my coffee, which is 180 calories. Sacrilege. Like a well-placed thumb, you wouldn't even know it's there.
As I was making my way through meal one, I already knew that this was going to be difficult. My stomach was absolutely killing me. It literally felt like someone was stabbing me in the gut repeatedly.
Meal one done, and I can't even explain to you how bad I feel right now. But that was 400 calories. Today's goal is 2,500. And by the way I'm feeling right now, I know it's going to be awful. Just pulled up to the gym, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a pre-workout meal, starting off with these Nutri bars. It's a meal replacement bar, deep brownie delight flavor, which is the kind of name that would have me walking a little funny for a few days. So apparently the big thing about this is that it's gonna keep you full for 5 hours. Are we testing protein bars on mice now? Like, there's no way this is gonna keep me full for that long. And if it does, I'm sending it to a lab to find out what's truly inside this thing. There's 260 calories, only 13 grams of protein, 65-gram bar. So the thing is packing. The promise on depth is definitely being delivered. Look at that. Actually looks decent, yo. Oh. It tastes like fossilized mammoth feces. Next thing I'm having is this MRE protein shake. It's not just a shake, it's a tactical beverage experience, just in case your gains need military-grade reinforcement. I got the blueberry cobbler flavor, which is kind of a fun flavor. It's like you want to taste grandma while you're on the battlefield. 40 grams of protein, man. 240 calories for this whole thing. And based off the brownie, this is going to taste like NASA space food blueberry cobbler. You know what? Usually when it comes to these kinds of things, you either execute the inside or you execute the outside. But this has delivered the money shot. It's a little bit of both. It's pretty good. It's a little bit watery. I think it could be sweeter. But overall, I'm very happy with this. Now, there are two things that I will take in any form, and one of those things is caffeine. So I have caffeine pills here, 200 milligrams of caffeine. We're gonna take this as our pre-workout and then head into the gym. My digestive system is at war right now. It officially feels like I've swallowed the science fair volcano. But luckily I have the gut of a raccoon that I'm hanging in there. So in here we have 200 calories coming from carb powder. Then we also have EAAs, creatine, and electrolytes. If you ever see me drinking carbs, there's either a camera around or it's not actually me and it's an AI robot. Okay, so I'm gonna work out, not feeling too confident about this, feeling horrible. But we're gonna try getting a pump. Let's go.
Well,
it is really uncomfortable training when every time you move, you feel the fluids in your body just sloshing around. It's gross. My head is hurting so badly. I can't remember the last time I've had a headache like this. And it has to be from the supplements. This is also insanely strong. I mixed 3 flavors together. Oh! Coming into this workout, I've had 900 calories, which is pretty normal for me coming into the gym, but usually I would have like eggs, bacon, and like a wrap, like a breakfast burrito, and then pre-workout meal would be like turkey with rice. So same overall calories, but just with the supplements, I just feel so weird. I also feel extremely hungry. I feel like I haven't even eaten, but then I also feel like I'm being stabbed in the stomach at the same time. I also feel just extremely gassy, and after every set, I'm pretty much supersetting it with, which definitely isn't ideal, but on the bright side, I'm getting my steps in.
Workout complete, and that was the most average workout that I can remember. I had such a hard time connecting with my muscles during the movements, and I just couldn't get a pump. And especially being a shoulders and arm day, that is when we want the pump, and I just couldn't feel it. My head was hurting, my stomach was hurting. I felt like I had to shit all the time. I had to pee all the time. It was just hard to actually lock into the workout. I felt stringy. I just felt flat. I felt depleted. And I usually come to the gym, like I said, with the same amount of calories in my body, and it just feels so different. I normally feel amazing. I have a great pump. I feel full. But now I genuinely feel like I've not eaten a thing. I'm gonna show you guys a quick physique update with only supplements in my body.
So a quick note, mixing all these supplements together can really have unexpected consequences. Especially all these food colorings, food dyes, all these ingredients when they are in the isolated form and consumed in such amounts, like on every bottle supplement you have that instruction like don't use it as a meal replacement, or basically there is a limit how much you should eat each day. And when you mix all these together in such a huge amounts, I mean, it's interesting. Maybe there will be something different if you just, as I said, if you use like meal replacement shakes or whatever, which is like one brand, and use that specifically, then I think this would greatly reduce the risk of these negative effects occurring.
At this point of the day, my macros were 80 grams of protein, 63 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat, with 17 grams of fiber consumed.
The funny thing is, I actually thought with me having all these vitamins and minerals before my workout, I was gonna feel amazing. I was gonna have energy and feel on top of the world. Because usually we just think about macros, protein, carbs, and fats. So again, thinking about taking all those pills, I thought I was gonna feel great, but it's actually quite the opposite.
Once the workout
Well, one thing is that we think about the macros, but we also need to think about the food matrix. And that is how these nutrients are connected together, because in their whole food form, there is maybe fiber, there is other things keeping them together, right? They are in that form, and during the chewing and digestion, we are breaking the bonds and slowly releasing specific macronutrients like protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, when we isolate these, that's a whole different effect, right? Even if you have like isolated protein and carbs and fats, then when you put it together, it's not the same thing, even though the macros are the same.
was complete, I went home and showered extra well. I smelled. Then I crushed the white chocolate grenade bar, which was delicious. I then made myself another electrolyte drink because I was starving and I just didn't want to sip on water.
I am so gassy that I might go airborne. So I've decided to switch teams and go from whey protein to vegan protein, because if not, poor old Boba might need a doggy gas mask, that's for sure. So I got the Soylent vegan meal replacement. Can you make something sound any less appetizing? Literally, you go on Google, and this word means lackluster and undesirable. However, though, I do think it's promising because it was the last one left at the store. So that has to mean something. All right. It tastes like a Dementor sucked the soul out of a Hershey's bar. It doesn't even remotely taste like chocolate. It tastes like plants.
Based on what I heard about Hershey's, that must be really terrible.
Vegans, right? I feel like half the battle of being a vegan is having a good imagination, which I've been told I do have, but still, 400 calories, 20 grams of protein, solid. Now this next thing is absolutely crazy, and that is these survival tabs. Literally, a meal are just tabs. Who would have thought your food pyramid could just fit in a little tiny chewable thing? I mean, the packaging looks like it came straight from your paranoid grandpa's homemade nuclear fallout shelter. It's pretty cool looking. The best possible nutrition in the smallest possible volume. That is actually terrifying. Just in case. Yeah, like just in case I'm the first manned mission to Mars. Like, I don't think I would ever be eating this thing ever. A serving is 12 tablets, 240 calories, 12 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs. We got the vanilla flavor And there it is. Look at that. This is proof that big things can come in small packages, although I'd rather just a big package to begin with. Whoa, my mind is so confused. It tastes like it was a children's gummy that fell under the couch and it's been there for 3 years. And all the dust particles were absorbed by this gummy and that has become a nutrient. It tastes good. And I don't know if I'm just gaslighting myself or I'm so down bad, but I'm slightly concerned that this may kill me, or even worse, not make me full. But in the moment, it's awesome. I think I'm gonna say it. This is the best thing I've had so far today. Now, let's be real. There's no chance that I'm gonna be full today. I think the only chance I do have of being full is death itself or sad videos about meat farms. But I don't wanna do either of those. So I got myself some appetite suppressants. The guy at the store said that this is actually the most potent one that they carry. So we're gonna try it out.
I was trying to get as much work done as I could, but it was really hard with the frequent toilet visits. I also ended up finding my way to the supplement aisle. I don't know how it happened, it just did. I then caved and got a protein and co bar, which I've never tried. It looked like a bar you should never eat in any circumstance, and it tasted like I wanted my money back.
That appetite suppressant was as useful as an umbrella in a hurricane. It did nothing. I would honestly think it was just probably icing sugar in that. I am starving for dinner, and I'm decently excited for this one because I'm gonna be having pad thai with chicken. Now, people are gonna be like, yo, this is not a supplement. This is survival food. Like, the only time you're ever gonna actually eat this is if you're on the brink of dying in the woods with no other option. So I would say that this is a supplement. So pad thai with chicken, 20 grams of protein, a 30-year shelf life. Like, I think we should be applying Leo's girlfriend age limit to our foods because that is just insane. And there is just so much sodium in here. I'm excited to eat it. I just gotta make, I can't, like, we gotta, I think it's never a good sign when this is in your dinner.
I don't think anyone has ever been this excited for survival food other than people who actually are needing it for survival. I was expecting the ingredient list to look like an Apple Terms of Service agreement, but surprisingly, it wasn't that bad.
Now, I'm usually pretty enthusiastic about having Thai food, but this, I'm not so sure. It's kind of like they're like, are you sure you want to survive? Think
Next
about
level.
it and then eat. It smells and looks like I'm in a Thai restaurant where the servers look like me. So I don't think I'm gonna get my hopes up here. There's 480 calories, 12 grams of fat, 70 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein. 8 grams of fiber too, all around decent meal. Now I'm expecting this to be as authentic as Chef Boyardee being a taste of Rome. Yeah, I'm definitely not in Bangkok. I'm in the middle of nowhere with a great imagination. In desperate times, I would probably eat it. I think that this beats being in the woods and having to play berry roulette because you really never know what's gonna be in those berries that you pick, you know? So I think this is probably the best option. If Pringles was to do a pad thai flavored chip, I feel like the flavor profile would be executed the exact same as this. Is that a compliment? I'm not so sure. But the fact that this is savory food, it's amazing. It just tastes probably so much better than it actually is because I'm just so tired of sweet chocolate things.
I think this kind of food would really work for many people who want to keep the weight off, right? There's fiber, fat, proteins, pretty well balanced, it's not hyper palatable, you will not overeat it. That's like, you know, dieting on easy mode, I think.
Also, just to think, 30-year shelf life. This package could have been made when I was born. Wow. It literally feels like I've been suffering the entire day, and I still failed my mission to hit 2,500 calories. I hit 2,670 calories, so 170 over. But if I had no idea how much I ate, and I had to guess, I would think easily below 2,000. I'm starving right now.
That's an important factor.
I have a feeling tonight that sleeping is going to be quite the challenge.
and I have a lot of ideas of things that I could take, but I have limitations of what I can show on camera. So I decided to take this melatonin pump. I just hope it works, because otherwise it's gonna be a long night, and I'll see you all in the morning.
Well, sleep was the goal. Survival was the best I could manage. It was a terrible night. I was just up almost the entire time, hungry. But I woke up feeling very foggy this morning. Also, my skin is extremely dry. I'm flaking. I don't know if you can see that, and that's unusual for me. Now, typically on day 2s of these challenges, I usually have a game plan to make things easier today, but I don't.
One important note here is that many people who have digestive issues, and that is specifically due to high stress and eating a lot of ultra-processed foods, they experience the same thing. Not being satiated, having skin rashes, skin issues. I experienced this, and not feeling well overall. And now when I am on a whole food diet, basically, most of the time, even I sometimes notice that when I have some specific ultra-processed foods, that I immediately develop a skin rash, or there is some kind of headache or reaction of the body. So I'm pretty much more sensitive to eating not whole foods.
So I'm just gonna assault my digestive system once again. However, I'm very excited for breakfast, and you'll see why.
The first thing I'm excited about is this right here. So I'm getting my vitamins in while I'm eating chocolate. Better chocolate, functional chocolate with benefits. You wanna know how upside down the world is? We're pretty much eating candy and calling it wellness. 5 bites is 190 calories. And these look freaking spectacular, yo. I think it's never a good sign when they have that little white sheen on top. Package, IRL. I don't think I've been catfished this hard in a very long time. But just like my worst Tinder dates, it's still gonna end up in my mouth. Okay, here we go.
Doesn't it look like
I'm not even sure I can call this chocolate. I'm almost offended, actually. It's like a vitamins did blackface. Apparently there's supposed to be a creamy milk chocolate center, but I don't see anything creamy about that. Like if I wanted cardboard, I'd just eat the box. It's woman-owned, whatever that means these days. Do you know what? The more that I eat it, the more that I actually enjoy it. It's like a culinary Stockholm syndrome.
The next thing that I'm excited about is this. It's shaker cereal with protein in it. I think that's pretty innovative. So 200 calories, 18 grams of protein. You just pour it into a shaker, shake it up, and we got cereal. 200 mLs of milk. Oh, it's supposed to be like Lucky Charms. There's marshmallows. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, the cereal to milk ratio is a tragedy that Shakespeare himself couldn't even write. So I'm not so sure about this yet, but who knows about the taste?
Cool
I'm
effect.
assuming based off the packaging and the fact that there's marshmallows in here, it's supposed to mimic Lucky Charms, and with how I'm feeling right now, I'd rather just eat the whole damn leprechaun. I'm just so hungry. And talk about breakfast of champions and lazy people. I will say the one main benefit of the only supplement diet so far is that the convenience is crazy. You just have so much extra time during the day because you don't have to cook at all. Oh my God. It's absolutely magical. The crunch, it has a thickness I desire. 3 grams of fiber, only 1 gram of fat, 29 grams of carbs. This is a solid pre-workout meal. And every sip is just a reminder that I peaked in kindergarten. This is definitely is better than yesterday's breakfast, that's for sure.
After the cereal, I took a handful of pills, and then I decided to have another cereal drink because it was just so good, which made my breakfast a little larger than normal at 640 calories. Day 2's workout was a lot like day 1. I was really feeling the effects of not having real food. It was really hard for me to remain focused during the workout. I basically felt every symptom of supplement overdosing.
It is taking so much more effort just to maintain what I did last week. I'm just not feeling it. Also, considering like 90% of my diet has been fluids, I'm feeling extremely dehydrated all the time. Like I just can't seem to hydrate myself, which is super weird.
I would be curious about the total sodium intake from all these supplements combined, because just these electrolytes, green powders and so on, they have a lot of sodium, some of them. So I would be really curious about this. And there is also a research that suggests that feeling hungry before the workout, regardless if you are fed or fasted or whatever you do, is the main factor that affects workout performance. So if you feel hungry, this greatly diminishes your workout performance.
Oh my God. 15th time filling out this workout. Since everything that I'm consuming is similar textures, similar flavor profiles, I'm starting to think of food a whole lot more. Lately, I've not been a very food-focused person, but now I just can't stop thinking of food. I'm thinking of my favorite restaurants. I'm having very bingey thoughts, which is definitely not ideal. And I'm hoping that when this is all done, I can kind of keep things intact.
And that's an interesting notion, because he is getting calories in, right? He's consuming fat, fiber, vitamins, all kind of minerals, so there are no deficiencies, definitely not in the second day on that kind of diet. But still, he has symptoms of low energy intake, like if he was on some really extreme diet. So my interpretation of this is that there is something else going beyond just getting nutrients, right? We evolved eating food that involved chewing and spending time with that food. If you just quickly drink it, doesn't matter how many calories it has, without chewing and doing that for, you see, extended period of time. He even uses protein bars and some other supplements that he had to chew, but still it leaves him unsatisfied.
Now for lunch today, you guys are gonna think that I've lost my damn mind, because check this out. I'm having mass gainer, 1,170 calories per serving, a 3-to-1 carb to protein ratio. There's only 7 servings in this massive tub. Like, this tub is a one-way ticket to the competitive sumo circuit. I'm actually terrified right now. Now, this is quite the risk to be having this for lunch, because it's a substantial amount of my daily calories. So hopefully this actually feels like 1,200 calories and not just a regular protein shake, because if it does, I have no words. Like, it's just gonna suck. 208 grams of carbs per
What
serving.
do you think? Will it be more satisfying? I don't
Am I
think
actually
so.
doing this right now? A serving is 271 grams. Bruh. See that? His mass gainer. All right, well, this is gonna be an experience that builds character, that's for sure. Cheers, everybody. It tastes like a 15-year-old boy, struggling and depressed because he can't put on any muscle. Like, this is the high school boy drink. And honestly, I hated and I was so jealous of kids in school that needed mass gainer because they all still had abs. Meanwhile, here I was cultivating enough mass for the entire grade. But then time goes on, their metabolism slows down, and the dad bod era begins. And then and look at me. That was just a little side rant. But this is actually really good. When it's upon entry, it's extremely chocolatey, but then as it slides down your throat, you start to get a lot of like the other things like the quinoa and the sweet potato, because the 208 grams of carbs are apparently clean calories, carbs coming from the quinoa and all that stuff. So it actually tastes pretty damn good, I would say that. I mean, given the fact that it's 1,200 calories, I could be having a frickin' Wendy's Frosty for actually probably less calories.
And that's a lot of volume too.
Yeah, this is just a lose-lose situation, I think. I should probably slow down a little bit because the game plan with this is just to sip on it for as long as possible as I do work and make this extend as late into the day as I can so that by the time I'm having my last and final meal, it's just eating that and then going to bed. Oh. With the way that this shake is sitting in my stomach, it went down with no exit strategy. Tummy is hurting real good. Also, I didn't really nurse that. That was like 15 minutes. Oh. I'm gonna go take a shower.
Day 2 has been much harder than day 1. It's pretty much been downhill since the cereal. I can't get the thought of real food out of my mind. I'm thinking of literally anything that doesn't come in powder form. For the most part. In a moment of desperation, I thought I'd sip on a Metamucil. It helped in one way, but not the way I needed.
I'm literally just walking through the food court looking at food.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really walked through the food court just looking at food without any intention of eating it. And Katie definitely didn't help the situation. So I made another Subi drink because it's green, and even though I don't love it, I was tired of my diet looking like the color palette of a mud pit. I just needed some green to just feel good about myself.
I'm just ripping the Nintendo Switch because I've officially given up on trying to be productive today. Like, I've been trying to do work, but I just can't focus no matter what. And I have no idea why. I'm thinking it's because I'm having all of these things that are so highly concentrated in different vitamins and minerals, and I have literally nothing in my body to absorb them. So I'm just kind of feeling all out of whack. So I'm just gonna waste the rest of the day away. Well, it's not a waste because I'm gonna do a Grand Prix. Oh, peach. You wanna know what boys like me do to peaches? I don't think so.
As you can see, I'm at the gas station, feeling like a gas station myself, if you know what I mean. But we're gonna go inside, and I'm gonna see if I can find something for dinner. The goal is 500 calories.
It's just my dinner.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's my dinner. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Words cannot describe how excited I am that this is the final meal of this challenge. They really cannot. But I actually think I found a pretty lit dinner. The first thing I'm gonna be having is this Freshie Immune Elixir, 40 calories. I feel like I just need it. I feel like I've done a number on my body, and I think it deserves it. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's going through my nasals. Oh, that was needed. Now, the thing I'm excited about, and we got our hands full with this one, the Mammoth Protein Bar. This thing is huge. You do not see this size every day, especially where I'm from, so this is a rare treat. 75-gram bar, 320 calories. I'm gonna enjoy every inch of this thing. Honestly, at this point, only something Mammoth can satisfy me with my hunger. It is so chocolate forward upon entry, and then the nut just saunters in, and peanut butter just explodes in your mouth. It's almost like an O. Henry bar with morals. It's a jaw workout, which is kind of what you would expect, right? The last thing is a core power beverage, and y'all think that gas is expensive? Try buying a protein shake at the gas station. That is some highway robbery, y'all. 170 calories.
Fun fact, they don't get money from gas, but
from this thing.
on those things, right?
Oh my God, I just shot it all over my screen. Let's just hope it doesn't taste like ashtrays and armpits, like the muscle milk. Oh, that is so good.
To answer the questions I had at the beginning of the video, I had horrible energy throughout the day. I could not stop thinking about real food, and I was starving the entire time. I guess on the bright side, I ended up dropping 1.4 pounds, and there's not much of a difference. I do feel like I look slightly leaner because I literally have nothing in my system. Make sure you eat a well-rounded diet full of high-quality foods, and don't count on supplements to make up for your bad decisions, because at the end of the day, nothing can replace real food.
I believe that was a solid closing, and from my thoughts and notes, digestion, tiredness increased, satiety greatly diminished. Convenience was the only upside of that kind of diet, right? And we see from some studies that meal replacement shakes, they do work, but again, this is like extreme approach for a certain period of time. When I had people who I was helping with nutrition, who had like problems with digestion, they couldn't eat solid meals and so on, so they would eat like these medical grade meal replacements. They are satiating. I even tried it. They satisfy you, surprisingly, but you still crave food, something to chew on after that time. But that can be problematic for such people. So, yeah, I don't know why we are obsessed about trying to recreate food, break it down into certain components, nutrients, and then create it or recreate it back. What do you think? Why? And do you think we will ever do that? Let me know in the comments.